As an Australian in Germany, there's one thing I miss a lot about Australia. And I realize this might sound a bit cheesy, but it's the night sky and just how bright the stars are. Every time I go home, not so much in the city, but as soon as I go out to the country and stand on the back deck and look up at the night sky, I'm always blown away by just how dense the galaxy is and just how bright the stars are. I think a lot of this nostalgia comes from my childhood when I took a lot of camping trips. But in this video, I'd like to share an adventure that I still think about a lot. In the 80s, I took a road trip to chase Halley's Comet. The classic thing about Halley's Comet, which was named after the English astronomer Edmund Halley, is that it only returns to the Earth's vicinity and is visible to the naked eye once every 76 years. The last time it was seen from Earth was in March 1986, and I was 6 years old. Things had gotten very uncertain at home. My parents had just divorced. This adventure was an awesome escape. My dad had a beat-up old yellow Toyota station wagon, so we loaded that full of camping stuff. My sister and I climbed in and we hit the open road. My dad at the time was listening to this singer called Laurie Anderson, and she had a lot of synthesized vocals and all these strange kind of effects going on. So that was the soundtrack to the landscape as it opened up. We drove out of Victoria into South Australia and we pulled up at a salt lake. It was kind of like a desert that looked like it was covered in snow. We pulled the car up on the side of the road and walked across it, and the salt cracked under our feet like thin wafers, and it honestly felt like we'd landed on another planet. We got back in the car and drove to this rocky kind of mountain area where our friends had set up camp on top of a cliff, so we had to park the car and walk. As we were approaching a small mountain, there was one of these old corrugated iron water collection tanks, very Australian. And I decided to climb up the side of it and have a look in. And I remember getting to the top and peeking over the edge and coming face to face with an upside down dead bat. It scared the living daylights out of me, and I was lucky not to fall back off the ladder. As we climbed the mountain, I remember seeing wild goats perched on the side of a mountain at like a 45-degree angle. When we got to the top, there was the brightest fluorescent lizard I've ever seen. I'm not kidding. It was as bright as this pen sitting on a rock. It was like there to welcome us and scurried away. We set up camp up top and I wanted to build something. So I collected all these slate rocks and sticks, and I actually built a little dinner setting. I made the table out of stone. I had little chairs, little pebble plates and sticks as cutlery. I was pretty creative as a kid, and perhaps that's why I ended up in the architecture industry. But I think what I was trying to do there was I was actually imagining my family sitting at that table together again. As night fell, the temperature dropped rapidly. It got really cold. We weren't sleeping in tents. We wanted to sleep under the stars to have the best chance of spotting the comet. I just remember curling up in my sleeping bag pretty close to the edge of the cliff. It was the 80s. And just still feeling the warmth radiating from the stone beneath me. My dad woke me in the middle of the night and I could see all our friends standing on the edge of the cliff pointing at the night sky. So I ran over and joined them. My memory is there was like a streak, like a blurry streak across the sky. We're not sure it was Halley's Comet, but I'd like to think so. It didn't matter because looking up at the sky like that, I had a kind of realization, and that was that I was a tiny speck in a much bigger universe, and that maybe some things were out of my hands. It gave me a lot of hope, and I wished I could have bottled that hope and taken it back to Melbourne. It was a pretty awesome experience to have as a kid, and I'm grateful for it. According to my notes, the next time Halley's Comet is due to make another appearance will be in mid-2061. And the internet is saying that this time round, it will be much more visible. If I am lucky enough to live to the ripe old age of 81, that's how old I'll be in 2061, I would like it to make it my mission to try and spot her again. This is a twice in a lifetime opportunity. Even though I'm not so sure I saw her the first time, it doesn't matter. If I can get to 81 and go full circle, a kind of cosmic symmetry, that would be awesome.